Who is it?
Dustino!
You guys screwed it up. Oh, my goodness.
No, that's their fault.
We'll give a little break to the birthday girl. The birthday girl's in the house. The neighbor, 12 years old. Happy birthday, Isla.
Well, it's actually technically tomorrow. So.
Well, yeah, close enough.
Directors.
All right. Well, hey, appreciate you guys introducing us. We are live from the Fantasy Garage, and we got a big day, and we got a special guest here. Double J, Jay Joseph, is with us as we break down the NFL draft. This is where your team bolsters itself. This is where your team begins its rebuild. This is where your team finds potential franchise players and keeps on getting better and giving its fan base a chance. All right, you guys are good. Appreciate you guys helping me out.
We
It's
didn't
time.
have as many people, so we weren't as loud.
All right, you guys are good. Thank you. All right, the Fantasy Garage, as you guys know, it can get crazy. Anything can happen at any moment. There are kids everywhere. Isla's turning 12 years old, so everybody's fired up. Double J, how are you? How much of the draft did you watch? Did you think, grade it on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as like interesting, intriguing, boring? Give me a 1 to 10 grade.
Overall in the draft, I'd give it like a solid 7.5. I mean, a couple things. I did like the 8-minute pick.
Yes, the
window
clock was
between
much
picks.
quicker.
The quicker clock was awesome for TV. I don't know how good it is for the executives and the players making the decision, but the 8-minute window made it just very smooth, very quick. Helped an old guy like me stay up to make it through the whole thing. As a Bears fan, I'm not used to picking 25, so the intrigue wasn't quite as much as it was in years past when I'm, consistently in the top 10 or 2 picks in the top 10, like your Giants, who knocked it out of the park last night. We'll get into that. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good draft.
I'm ready to stop picking in the top 10. I am ready to get out of the top 10 and start being in the 20s again.
I'm with you. I'm hoping the 20s are where I stay for the next 8 to 10 years.
Well, because you got the franchise quarterback, right? And when you have the franchise quarterback, or
hopefully,
what you think exactly, and he took you to the playoffs, right? So I think now you just continue to build around him, and you continue to get the team better, and you hope that you can take that next leap. It's not easy to win Super Bowls, but at least playing meaningful games after Thanksgiving, I would kill for that. I haven't had a meaningful game after Thanksgiving since 2016, I don't think. So it has been absolutely brutal. The only meaningful games I have are the last 2 weeks of the season where we're seeing where we're going to get picked, right? And typically we're blowing it and ended up with a worse. TJ is in the house. All right, listen, I was going to start at the top of the draft with Mendoza as we kind of segued in from Caleb Williams and your franchise quarterback to Fernando Mendoza, the Raiders quarterback. I'm not going to waste a ton of time because if you joined the show last week when I was solo, I told you I like Mendoza. I like him more than most. I think a lot of people, because he's goofy, because he is, he's kind of a dork and a nerdy guy, people don't like that. I love it. I want my guy to be in the film room. I want a football rat. I don't want Kyler Murray playing Call of Duty. I want a guy studying the tape and trying to get better. TJ's in the house, so we're going to skip my thoughts on Mendoza. I'll get your thoughts at some point. I think you talked about him one day, but we got a big-time Giant fan in the house.
I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you.
TJ, my son had a Little League game from 6:30 to 8:30. I'm kind of watching the picks. Their game came down to the end. They won 14-10. My son's team was 2-6 to start the night. 2-7. They're now 3-7. So that was a good win for my son's team. 0-for-0. He had 2 walks, scored 2 runs, a couple nice stolen bases. Every pitch was over his head. But anyhow, we get the games. They can do their thing. They meet with the coach, blah, blah. It's about 8:35 when we get released. And on the clock are the Titans. And I'm thinking Rob Saleh and his defense. All I kept thinking is who's going to win out? Because there's a tug of war in that room between Daboll and Saleh. Saleh wanting to get defensive guys, Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles, and Daboll wanting to get Carnell Tate. And obviously Jeremiah Love was off the board because the Cardinals took him. We'll get to that. And when they said Carnell Tate, I started jumping up and down. And my son goes, what? I said, we got a chance at my best ranked player in the draft, Arvell Reese. An absolute animal. This guy is a do-it-all. You can put him on he's like a Micah Parsons type. I think better. I think he's quicker. But, I mean, just an absolute unit of a player. I'm so fired up. Abdul Carter really disappointed last year. Kayvon Thibodeau is overrated, in my opinion. He's a nice player, not worthy of a top 10 pick like he was drafted. This kid, I think, is the real deal. And in my opinion, we got the number one player in the draft. You can never have enough pass rushers, right? If you go back to the old days, George Young, who built those championship teams, he had 2 rules. Get their quarterback and protect your quarterback. And that's what we did. And I am over the moon. Yes, Abdul Carter. I'm not pulling the plug on Abdul Carter. Now, Thibodeau, I've seen enough. And I'll tell you right now, and I was worried, and I like Sonny Styles, and I like Caleb Downs, and I'll get to that in a moment. But I wanted Reese. I want an absolute game wrecker, absolute game changer. And what I saw, I literally said this immediately after the pick. I said, this frees us up to move Thibodeau. This frees us up to move Thibodeau for a third. I was thinking second. I talked to some buddies. They think he's more, and I saw some stuff online that he's more of like you'll get a third for him. I'd move him. I'd move him if I can get a third. You give me a third in this draft, I'll take him. Give me a neutral party's feelings on what the Giants did, starting with Arvell Reese. Again, my number one player on the board and the Giants' number one player on the board.
Yeah, game wrecker potentially, right? I mean, that's what you're praying for right there, and that's what you landed. We had talked before the draft, and you were pretty adamant that was the guy you wanted. So, I think that was a great pick.
I didn't think it was a possibility.
I saw something last night that they might use him more as like a off the ball, middle linebacker type, and kind of ease him into the role. And if you do that, you're not paying Thibodeau much yet, right? So what's the worst thing you have? You have 3 guys that you can kind of rotate in and get to the quarterback from anywhere on the field. Not a bad option for a year or two till you have to make that 5th-year option call on Thibodeau. So it was a great move, a great pickup.
Yeah.
That's where you're hoping for in the top 5. You're hoping for the guy you want sliding. It was funny. I was sitting there with my son, and we'll get into it more. But when the Titans came up, I said they're going to go Carnell Tate. I just had a feeling the trend has been you get that quarterback, you have to get him a 1 receiver. As Tate a 1 receiver, we can get to that later. But I had a feeling the offense was going to win out there, and it did. And then obviously leaves you couldn't go wrong with any of those 3. So yeah, Reese was a monster. So great job by the Giants, I think.
I was trying to paint scenarios, and when I was thinking pre-draft, I was saying I wanted all defense. I didn't want to fall in the trap of taking Tyson or taking Tate or taking Love. And don't get me wrong, these are good players, but those are more luxury picks. We needed to fix our trenches. We've been getting run all over, okay? And our defense has been a sieve. Think about how many leads we could not protect in the 4th quarter, right? Good teams we had beaten, and we couldn't hang on, and we couldn't finish them off because we didn't have the defense. We just didn't have it. So my dream scenario was a Reese Styles and Caleb Downs, the safety, who ends up going to the Cowboys. But it's hard for me to argue with the offensive lineman. And Harbaugh has kind of a history of getting these Samoan dudes. And I love these guys because they are just mashers. They just maul people. I do think Thibodeau's getting traded. I agree with you. And it's too funny. Can you go back, Drizzy? TJ made a comment maybe in the early going about we got Maui. It was like I don't know, 4 or 5. He said something about we got Maui. Yeah, so I was joking with my son when and they don't care that much, right? But when we got the second pick, I was like, all right, cool, I'm happy that. And he goes, well, I said, we just drafted Maui from Moana. We just drafted a big Samoan Hawaiian type dude that's gonna just maul people, and I love it. I love what he said. They were talking to him in the thing, and he's all about football. He's all about faith, all about family, locker room. And he said, Jackson Dart, man, I'm ready to die for you. I'll die out there on the field for you. And I know the kid from the Patriots said that last year, and he didn't play so well. But I'm not going to argue with the brass. And here's what I explained to one of the guys I work with, big Jets fan. We'll get to the Jets at some point. And there's good GMs. And listen, there's bad GMs. I'm sorry. I know we're playing pretend GM here on our sports talk show. But there's good and bad GMs. So there are, right? And my thing was, and this is what I tried to explain. So when I got up this morning, I went on and logged on to one of these draft things and looked up the best available players because the Giants actually, quite honestly, might be drafting now. And
they're
we'll
on
get
the
to
clock.
that.
The Texans just picked Caden McDonald. The Giants are on the clock right now.
What is McDonald? Is he the defensive back?
To tackle from Ohio State.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
A lot of people thought late first round. There was a lot of talk about the Bears maybe looking at him late first.
The 5 best available at the site I was looking at, okay, were all defensive backs. Well, there was one edge guy, and it was 3 cornerbacks and a safety. And in my opinion, the Giants need to fix their secondary as well, which is why I wanted Downs. But here's the thing. If the difference between Downs and these guys that we can get right now at 35 or 37, I think it is, right, is small. But the difference between this offensive lineman and picking at 37, that lineman is huge, then I'm all for it, right? And it looks like it. I mean, I'm on here. If I go to best available,
to your point right now,
4 defensive backs are best available.
Right. And the first offensive lineman is 20th best available right now.
Yeah.
So, to your point.
So that's the thing. You got to think ahead. We think about it in fantasy drafts, right? Hey, if I take this wide receiver and skip running back here, what running back is going to fall to me later? And I think the Giants did a great job and said, you know what? Yes, Downs is awesome. He's a great player, and he may go on to be the next Kyle Hamilton. Could be a perennial Pro Bowler. So could this offensive lineman. But if we're about to take a defensive back here at 37, who we have similarly ranked, then it's a home run. It's an absolute home run. So I couldn't be more thrilled. We're fixing our trenches. It frees us up to make a move with Thibodeau if we want. Well, I don't know. I question the motor at times. He just hasn't turned out to be a superstar like, you kind of thought he might be when he was drafted. So I'm thrilled. I'm over the moon. Let's see, TJ. If you're still on with us, who do you want here? I mean, I can't lie and act like I know all these defensive backs, but I see this. According to CBS Sports, the 6th ranked player in the entire draft is Jermod McCoy, a cornerback from Tennessee that missed the season because of an ACL. So they're saying he's kind of like a Derek Stingley, where Stingley didn't play and then got drafted in the top 10.
Yeah.
What do you see?
I'm looking at ESPN right now. They have McCoy at 16. They have a safety from Toledo. They had him overall
I got that
21,
kid. It's 22.
21 and 22 for Avlion Terrell from Clemson.
I got him on here too.
So those are the top 3 available according to ESPN right now. So
yeah, I've got those same
Giants
3.
pick is in.
It's in. You got to let me know, because if I turn on my TV, everybody will see it.
Yeah.
I think that's against rules.
Copyright infringement. To your point, this is a great point about looking ahead and like we do in fantasy. And I was actually talking to some people today about the draft, and the Vikings may be reached, or a couple questionable. Was this too early? Was Tate too early? But you know what? We say it in fantasy all the time. If you like that guy and that's your guy, you go get him, because he's not coming back. And we're doing it for pennies compared to what these guys are playing for. These guys is all they do. So if they're convinced, and GMs, there's good GMs, bad GMs, good scouts, bad scouts. So maybe a scout makes a bad call, but get your guy, because you have one shot to get him unless you want to come back up. So I 100%.
Absolutely. And look what the Giants did last year, coming up to get Dart. Turned out to be an absolutely incredible move. We'll see when the pick gets announced. The pick is in, but not announced yet.
No,
so we're gonna break down this Giants pick here in a minute. And your Bears got a safety. I can't pretend I know a lot about him. I heard he's very athletic. What did you think of that pick?
Listen,
it's not sexy, but sometimes those are what wins championship.
They need a defense, and the need is they still need pass records. They need that pass rush. That's what they need. But they lost.
You want Thibodeau? What do we got? What do you got for a third rounder? We'll take Thibodeau.
The Bears have 2 seconds, and I think they have 2/3, I believe. So they do have some capital in the late rounds here.
We'll take pick 60. You got pick 60. Got Thibodeau.
We're somewhere in that range. But yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about him, but you read everything I read today and all the recaps and all these experts, they were going crazy. Pat McAfee said he was like a top 12 guy on his board. So fast, ball hawk, smart kid. It's worth I'm good. Poles has done an excellent job in the draft the last few years. I have complete confidence in what he does. So I like the pick. Wasn't what I saw coming. I saw a few mocks with him going there, but I really thought they'd go past rusher, but they did lose a ton in the secondary. Here we go. Here comes Goodell.
All right, let's
Who's he got
see
with
what
him?
Uncle Rogers got for us.
He's got somebody with him. Who's that? Plaxico? No.
Oh, it might be Plaxico. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not. It's I don't have the sound on.
Oh, I think it just popped up on my screen. Colton Hood, defensive cornerback from Tennessee. So, ironically,
Yeah,
he
was
wasn't
up there
in the top
too.
4 defensive backs, but I'll take him.
ESPN having it as 7th best available, 31st overall. I'm sure the injury, guys coming off injury are always tricky. So take the Tennessee corner that played all year, I guess.
Sure, we need it. Those are the things we need. I'm not going to pretend that.
He has a little bio up here. Multiple defensive touchdowns last year. He has a little bio. Multiple defensive touchdowns and was a semifinalist for the Thorpe Award. So
love it. Physical at the catch point.
Started
aggressive,
in Colorado.
The run.
Started in Colorado, came to Tennessee, 3rd team All SEC.
Love it. We needed it. So we
10 pass breakups.
Back.
Yeah.
We needed it. We need defense. Offense, there's a lot of good receivers in here, but, and I follow a lot of this from the fantasy standpoint, right? I'd love to go get a number 2 or at least a guy to compete. What's really nice is there's a bunch of little slot guys that I really like that could take the Wandale role, but we didn't need to take them here. Obviously, we don't pick again until the 4th, but there's a cluster because I've been really, really studying this stuff for Dynasty Fantasy Football. There's a cluster of like 15 receivers left that 10 of them, 12 of them are all slot kind of types, really types like Wandale. So I hope we get that replacement. I think that's definitely on the docket. Other than that, just keep taking best player available, right? I think this is going to be the best offensive line we've had in a long, long time. And now we're bolstering the defense. I'm telling you, I would not be surprised to see Thibodeau on the move for a 2nd or 3rd rounder. TJ, you're in the chat. What do you think? Thibodeau, would you take a 2nd or 3rd rounder? I would. I think he's due to get paid soon. He's been okay. He hasn't been great. So that's my thoughts. All right. Now, here's what we're going to do, Jay. We're going to go into look at round 1. We're going to kind of go down the rung. We're not going to go nuts. We'll get a little more into it when we get to some of the offensive skill players, which, if you watched my show last night, leave a little to be desired. It's not the biggest, amazing fantasy football draft, in my opinion. There's some good players, and there's some people that are going to come into landing spots. Don't get me wrong, but it's not a stacked and loaded class like it has been. So, Mendoza, we've talked about him already. We like it. David Bailey, listen, you can flip a coin, Bailey or Reese. I was more team Arvell Reese, so I'm ecstatic with it. They obviously like Bailey. Jets are going to jet, right? It would be very classic Jets for Reese to become like Lawrence Taylor. and David Bailey to be, I don't know, you name your flop in the top 5.
Vernon Golston.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely.
Vernon Golston.
Absolutely could see that. Jeremiah Love. This was where the draft got interesting. And I think this is where the draft felt amazing for the Giants. Jeremiah Love is excellent. There's no doubt about it. He's an incredible running back. Amazing. But that's a luxury pick, I feel like. That's a pick when everything else you got your house in order. Then it's okay to get that luxury at him, right? It's okay to, whatever, splurge on that little thing you want to splurge on in your house, okay? So I was happy we didn't get tempted to take him. But the Cardinals, interesting. I think what the Cardinals are doing is, to me, they're playing for 2027, much like the Jets. They're just saying, give us best players available. And next year, when we do get a quarterback in what's supposed to be a loaded quarterback class, he's coming in with weapons galore. What did you think of the Love pick? I think that kind of made the draft spin a little bit.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I don't love picking running backs that early unless you're like a fluke team, like if the Chiefs moved up or if the Rams happen to be up there on a trade. When you're a bottom feeding team, it's like getting an elite closer in baseball. What good does Edwin Diaz do on on the Mets. Trey. He's
Right.
got to go to the Dodgers where the games matter. It's kind of like, to your point, great player. It didn't work with Genty last year. I mean, maybe it does now with Mendoza, and maybe this is the exact pattern the Cardinals are praying for.
Correct. Yeah.
You land a quarterback. You have some good. You got a big tight end. You got a great back. You McBride. It's almost very similar. You got Love and McBride, Bowers and Genty, and now here comes Mendoza. Maybe next year you get Arch Manning, or you get one of those other quarterbacks, and you got your off running. But if you don't, running backs, the shelf life is small. The impact is small if they're not surrounded by talent. I mean, especially in that division where you're facing that Rams defense, the 49ers, and the Seahawks. I mean,
You better have
you
some
don't have a
weapons.
line or a quarterback. They're just going to stack the box and shut them down. It's going to be Ashton Genty 2.0, I'm afraid. But they hit the quarterback next year, and they're in business.
I just got a text from a friend who's a Bills fan who just said, great job. You guys nailed the Colton Hood pick. He should have been a first rounder. So there you go. We'll see. I mean, this guy knows football pretty good. He obviously watches more college than me, so we'll take that for what it's worth. Now, so that left the Titans, who had been rumored for weeks, months, that they were going Jeremiah Love. Now, listen, I've got to say that makes me very happy because I have a lot of Tony Pollard. He's kind of old and crusty, but I have a lot of Tony Pollard in my dynasty leagues. So that saved Tony Pollard, hopefully, for another year where he'll be productive. And they go Carnell Tate, wide receiver U there. Ohio State's been producing them. I told you on the show last week when we broke down these skill position players, I like Tate. I don't love him. I think he's a T. Higgins type, which there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know if he ever becomes that bona fide top 10, 12 receiver, but there they go. They're getting a weapon, first of all, for Brian Daboll. Second of all, for Cam Ward to try to blossom here in his second year. As listen, he didn't have much to work with last year. So you got to give him a pass on his grade. I saw some good. I saw some bad. But now he has a true receiver to throw, which let Arvell Reese fall into our laps. What did you make of the Carnell Tate move? Do you know a lot about him? Like I said, my comps were like a T. Higgins type.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good comp. He's never had to be the one at Ohio State, so that raises some questions when you're taking a guy at 4 that's never been a 1 before. But he's a solid receiver with a young quarterback. You have to give him a weapon. They kind of have, if Ridley kind of bounces back, they have a solid wide receiver core in Tennessee all of a sudden with your boy Wandale's there now and Ridley and now Tate. So you have a few pieces where you can throw the ball, and Tate doesn't drop a lot of balls. He's strong. I saw it coming. Like I said, I saw it. I watching the draft. I said to my son, they're going to take Tate, and the 3 Ohio State guys are going to be there for the Giants, and they were. So not shocked that they did it. It makes sense given this is what all these teams are doing now. You get that hopefully franchise quarterback, and pair him up with a young receiver. And maybe, where, like if you use the Bears as an example, they took Rome the same year. Rome looks like he might be more of a 2, but then you find Luther. So maybe in the late rounds, Tennessee picks somebody else, and he becomes the 1. So, solid pick. Maybe a little early, but you get your guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things, you get your guy. Everybody pretty much, he was the safest pick of the receivers. Tyson with the injury concern and injury history. And then Lemon, we'll get to him. He's kind of an interesting character, a little undersized, getting compared to Amon-Ra St. Brown. But I'll tell you what, his interviews at the Combine, his interview last night, kind of an interesting guy. Seemed a little bizarre type of guy, like maybe could be a headache type of player. So glad that Tate was the safe guy. Tate was safe. He's going to be solid. You ask him to run a route, kind of kills any thoughts of Alec Manor or Chimere DK, really. Although those guys will play. DK is a special teamer. I'm just talking from a dynasty perspective. Those were kind of like 4th round darlings last year where people thought, oh, maybe they break out. It's not happening. It's going to be Tate. It's going to be Ridley. Maybe DK and Manor get out there a little bit, but Ridley's going to get on the field. And they got Wandale, who Daboll we know loves. So Cam Ward's got some weapons. Now they got to do some other things to help him out, but he's at least got some weapons there. We already talked ad nauseum about the Giants pick, which we were over the moon about. The one thing I'll throw in there too is that I saw I saw some videos and, I didn't watch one video that people didn't love Reese. Sonny Styles, I saw a couple of mixed things. I saw some people think he gets pushed around a little, that he was sort of a man amongst boys in college, and they weren't sure if his play style, if he was going to be as dominant as a pro. Put it that way. You guys are going to be good. So we'll see what happens there. We go to number 6. Sorry,
not to jump away from 6. I love what the Browns just took the receiver from Washington, Boston. I love what the Browns have done this draft. Yeah, that's 2 receivers and a tackle. The Browns have done a nice job. They're very un-Browns-like job. Trading back, picking up extra pick, get some weapons. I like what the Browns have done for sure.
Yeah, still got to figure out what they got to do with quarterback. I think it's going to be Deshaun Watson, but maybe Shedeur can beat him out. It's going to be interesting. Those 2 are in a QB battle, but at least you're getting weapons for the next quarterback potentially. Boston was projected as a late first rounder, 6'4", big body guy. So they got a variety, right? They got KC Concepcion, who's about 6 foot, 5'11", more of the speedster, more of the slot guy, more of the slants and quick stuff. And then they get an X receiver, big baller for downfield, throwing it up to in the red zone. So again, loading up on weapons. As far as from a fantasy perspective or dynasty perspective, I don't know if the fantasy or dynasty community is going to love it because they may cannibalize each other. And then the thought is, can Deshaun Watson or Shedeur Sanders support all these weapons? Can they support Fannin? Now Judy.
Yeah.
Judy's still around. Denzel Boston and KC Concepcion. Do they all – is it going to be one of those things where they're all just and there's no stud, right? Probably so. But interesting. Probably good for NFL, good for real life. Not sure how good they are for fantasy. Obviously, we'll have to see how reports come out of training camp. But you're right. They get a variety. They get a big receiver, and they get a fast, speedster route runner receiver. So, yes, that was breaking news there with round 2 pick for the Browns. All right, back to round 1. We go to number 6. Interesting that the Chiefs traded up to get the defensive back. They move up 3 spots and give up a decent amount of extra just to go up and get that guy who I hadn't heard rumored to any of the teams that they jumped to get him. But, hey, get your guy. If you think that's your guy, go get him. So he's a safe pick, good corner. Chiefs need that. Obviously, some people wanted the Chiefs to take a receiver. But like I said, they need cornerback. They need defense. They'll get a receiver at some point later in this draft. Sonny Styles goes to Washington. What's that?
That was a big void at corner after trading Trent McDuffie away.
Exactly.
You need it. It was a big hole. And I heard today that they were really worried with the Saints picking one spot in front of them. They thought the Saints were going to grab him, an LSU kid, the corner. So that's why they felt like they had to jump.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead. Get your if you really got to get your guy and it costs you a third or 4th, those are probably the extra picks that they got from the trade. So go get your guy. Fine. Defensive's not sexy, and I think for fantasy, but good for real life. Then you get Sonny Styles, that's the guy I wanted the whole time because I didn't think Reese was going to be there. But once Reese was there, I was fine with it. Good defensive player for the Commanders. Their defense was awful down the stretch. So good piece there for Dan Quinn. Then an interesting one with the Saints. Jordan Tyson, who was a very polarizing prospect. Most people thought he was the most talented receiver in the draft, but the injury history was kind of questionable. I said on my show last week, if healthy, he was my number 1 wide receiver. He goes to the Saints, paired up with Chris Olave, paired up with Tyler Shuck and Travis Etienne. What did you think of the Tyson pick there at 8? Again, I was happy as a Giants fan because then we weren't going to be tempted to take him at 10 because we were linked to him at 10. So by him going, that temptation was gone, which made me a happy guy.
Yeah, I thought it was a little early maybe. Saints need some explosive. They got Olave, but they're really kind of just had nothing behind Olave, so it really kind of took his effectiveness away. So the pick made a lot of sense. Shuck looked better than I think anybody expected last year. So now you get a couple legit weapons for him on the outside. So kid stays healthy. Maybe it's a home run pick for the Saints.
That's the key, the healthy part. And those are the things that we don't have access to. The teams have much more information than we do, but you got to assume if he's getting taken 8th, they're okay with his health. I agree with TJ in the chat. Styles, maybe just more that combine. No doubt an incredible athlete. But Reese is that absolute dog, man, absolute animal type of player that just wants to just wreck games. He's going to wreck games, and that's the hope. But we'll find out when they go from college to against grown men, right? That's the one thing I was saying last week is you can't measure a guy's ticker. It is, we don't know when they get $50 million up front, do they still have that same drive, desire to continue to be great and get great? So we don't have access to those interviews. We're not in those job interviews, so to speak. So I can't speak on it, but I was over the moon. All right. Now we go to, I got to go back here. Where were we?
Browns.
Number 9, Browns.
Spencer
Yeah.
Fano.
Great pick. Yeah, great pick. They need offensive line. They got to protect their guys. They need to set, create some lanes for Quinshon Judkins, all that. I have no problem with it. Then we go and take the offensive lineman there. I think the Browns could have been tempted receiver if he was there, but obviously Tyson and Tate were gone. So they go offensive line. We go offensive line. Love this kid. Watch some highlights of him today. Look great. Cowboys make their move. They make the trade and go up and get Caleb Downs, who some people had as a top 3 player in the draft. Safeties don't typically go that high. What did you make of Caleb Downs going to the Cowboys?
Yeah, great move by the Cowboys.
Seemed like it was going to happen, right?
Yeah, you kind of see Jerry itching to make a move, and Downs keep slipping. So a great job by Jerry to come up and go get him because, like you said, he could have been a top 3 or 4 pick easily. A lot of Ed Reed talk with this guy, so I thought it was a great move for Dallas. And
giving up
your Giants get this in there. And he's got gonna have a little chip. You see the Giants twice a year, and they passed on him twice. So, is that a little motivation for him when he comes to New York or New York goes south,
And I know 5th rounders are 5th rounders, but these are usually very good depth pieces, and you can find some real gems. So to give up 2 5th rounders to go up 1 spot, I didn't think who they trade with. They traded with
Dolphins.
Yeah, I just didn't think the Dolphins were going that position. Certainly they could have pivoted, but I think the Dolphins were O-line, the pass rusher from Miami, or going with the receiver, Mekhi Lemon, I thought were the 3 picks. But again, you got to give up 2 5ths to go get your guy. Nobody's going to remember those 2 5ths perhaps, but pretty ballsy to go up 1 spot and give up 2 5th-round players.
But you don't know, and this is where not being in those rooms, you don't know who's calling and saying, boy, Downs is there, calling Miami,
True.
and Jerry just beats him to it. So I'll give you these 2 to go. I just want to go. You're only moving down 1 spot. If you're not going to take him, I'm going to throw you these 2. Whatever. They have their roster is gutted in Miami. You're taking any extra parts you can get. If you're not taking Downs there, you might as well pick up whatever you can, make it quick, and you're only dropping 1 spot. So clearly the guy they wanted was there, 1 pick down. So
yep. And you go get your guy. And listen, Dolphins could have played a little game, little cat and mouse. Hey, because Jerry Jones wants that sexy guy for his fan base. Hey, I'm getting calls, man. We're going to take this kid. Do you want to come up? You know what I mean? Absolutely could have played the game. And there's a lot of that goes on. One of the fun things is these next 2, 3, 4 days is seeing some of the phone calls. We're getting a little more access to all that stuff nowadays. So that's pretty cool stuff to see the stuff that's going on, or celebrating that, hey, he's here. I haven't seen the video, and maybe there's not one, but I got to think Carnell Tate gets announced. The Giants got to be kind of celebrating because in their interview today, they said he was their number 1 player on the board, and they couldn't get that pick in fast enough. So maybe there's some video that'll come out of them celebrating. We know when the Vikings were celebrating because the Eagles took Jalen Reagor and left him Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, so, the Bears were doing that when the Falcons they had a good video of polls when the Falcons took Penix and the Bears took Rome because they wanted Rome to pair up with Caleb. So.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so we'll keep cruising, and then we'll get caught up with where we're at now in the draft. Now we go offensive lineman. I think that guy makes me nervous, man.
When every analyst says
something pounds.
When every analyst says
college.
He's not a self-starter. When Nick Saban comes out and says he's not a self-starter, that is when you're just like, what are you doing? Everybody's talking about he needs to be motivated. It never works out. That's just a giant red flag. It's a very Dolphin-y thing to do.
Yep. Well, and you look at the latest Alabama offensive linemen, they really haven't panned out great. And we know, Giants fans know, we took Evan Neal, who's been a complete debacle and bust. He was taken in that same draft there with Thibodeau. He's been a bust. Jedrick Wills has been kind of a bust for the Browns. This guy, to me, screams big-time red flag. I thought it was a terrible I shouldn't say terrible pick. He could work out. That's a red flag pick at 13, man.
Yeah.
Red flag pick.
It's very unsettling. I would not, if I was a Dolphin fan, I would not feel good about that pick right there.
No.
The analysts can be wrong, but when they all say the same thing, it's usually spot on.
That's scary when his former coach says that.
Right. And I heard Greg McElroy
to the program.
Greg McElroy, who was a quarterback there. I heard him this morning on one of the stations on Sirius, and he's like, I'm around the program all the time. He's like, I don't see it. He's I don't think he's gonna produce. So
freaking Dolphins, man.
Don't want to hear that. You just don't want to hear that.
And then the draft takes its biggest twist and turn of the entire evening. Did the Rams trade up? No, that's just a pick that they had.
No, that was the pick that they got from the Falcons last year.
And they take Ty Simpson, a very polarizing quarterback, questionable first-round talent. Most people that I've seen did not have a first-round grade on him whatsoever. So for them to take this is what really threw me off. I could see getting the heir apparent, right? Well, Stafford's almost 40 years old. Is he 40, 39? He's close.
He's 38. He is 38.
He's getting close. I could see another 2 years at him. He's also got the back issues, which he made it through last year unscathed. He's had neck issues in the past. He's had some shoulder stuff, elbow stuff. Okay. I could see doing it. But to do it at 13 when he was kind of even money whether he was going to be a first rounder or not. So why would you not trade? Maybe they tried to trade back. We're not in the rooms. This seems incredibly risky to take, first of all, a questionable prospect. Second of all, take him at 13 when you're a win-now team, a veteran team, right? And then it come to find out, Ty Simpson says in his interview, I've never met Sean McVay. Yeah.
Sean McVay said it. He's like, I've never talked to him. I heard so much today. I don't know if you heard any of this. But it sounds like McVay had no idea they were doing it. He wasn't happy. You watch his press conference, you could tell he wasn't really ready for it.
He looked very perturbed.
They said Snead is very good friends with this kid's father.
I heard that.
And was like giving him advice prior to the draft. So it's the Rams are probably the smartest organization in football right now. Or if not, they're in the top two or three.
Pretty good. They find diamonds in
the
rough because they never have smart picks.
They trade them all away, and they don't need them. They hit every receiver they draft in the 5th, 6th round. They hit on they find these offensive linemen that are undrafted and late round picks, and they're home run picks every year. They find these, and it's a credit to McVay and his staff because they just coach them up so well. I mean, it couldn't have landed any better for Simpson. He couldn't have gone to a better situation. No pressure. You're not starting this year. You're probably not starting next year, barring anything crazy with Stafford. You're walking into the best offensive head coach in the league. It's a great. If I'm a Rams veteran on that team, I woke up this morning and I'm like, we're a player or two away from the Super Bowl most likely, or winning the Super Bowl, because if they get through, the Seahawks there, they crush the Patriots, and just to go this direction makes.
Yeah, and my big thing was
I don't know.
My big thing was this scream. When I first saw the pick, I said, okay. I didn't agree with it, but I said, okay, McVay must love this kid, and he must be banging the table.
That's what I thought.
This is my next guy.
Yes.
But then you find out that he never even met him. That was so bizarre. That is a very bizarre disconnect between coach and GM. And I told a friend, we remember that McVay almost kind of retired, right? Remember, he was going to step down. Maybe he rides off into the sunset with Stafford or something. I don't know. He looks like a stressed out guy, man. Even in that thing, he was white as a ghost. His eyes were bugging out. Mm-hmm. He looked a little stressed out. It wasn't as crazy as Adam Gase with the Jets, but He looked a little. He was out. He definitely was not ecstatic. It didn't seem. Like I said, if he's pounding the table, going, "This is the guy. This is the guy. I want this guy. Let me work with this guy. He can sit for 2 years, year and a half. This is." But then you find out they never even spoke.
Yeah, that's wild.
Very weird. And then you get the insider thing with the dad and the coach, or the dad and the GM. Very, very bizarre. Let's see how it works out. I don't know. Like I said, if they took him in round 2, or
even traded into the second, trade back,
move up early in the second,
or trade up. Or trade up late, go back almost like the Lamar Jackson thing. Jump into the 20 to 26 range and go get him or something. Fine, but to take him that early when your roster is that loaded and there's so many good players, Ruben Bain sitting there, so many good players still sitting there.
Yeah, I mean it's a perfect scenario for this kid because if you talk to old ex-quarterbacks, lots of them, right? I watch podcasts and listen to stuff all the time. A lot of them say the best thing for any of these kids would be to sit for a year. But some teams don't have that luxury, right?
Oh.
You don't have that. Most of the teams drafting a quarterback are drafted because they need him. They don't have anybody. But we've seen it work out with Jordan Love. We saw it work out with Aaron Rodgers sitting behind Favre. We saw it work out with Mahomes sitting behind Alex Smith. There's a handful more that I'm forgetting off the top of my head right now. You could probably come up with them. But even Eli Manning sat for 5-6 games behind Kurt Warner, right? So, I get it, but I just didn't think this kid was the level of prospect. Most of the people that I listen to, respect, very well connected, good scouts, good grading history on quarterbacks, thought this kid was a second-round talent. And some not even that. But came out the right year, I guess. Everybody questioned him when he came out. But he got the number 13 pick. So that was interesting. Yes, right. That was definitely the most shocking pick of the night.
That was a shock.
All right. So we continue to move on. Let's see where we at. We're moving okay here. Then you get a perfect, falls right in the Ravens' lap.
Classic Raven.
Another Samoan offensive lineman, just absolute beast. Perfect Raven. The kid Ruben Bain from Miami slides to the Bucks, and they get a pass rusher, which they needed desperately.
Great spot for the Bucks.
Great spot for the Bucks. Absolutely. I thought the Bucks were live to take Kenyon Sadiq, who goes the next pick, but the edge rusher falls to him. So, when these guys fall to you, boom, you pounce on it. So Sadiq, tight end, we talked about him, freak athlete. Unfortunately, the Jets is not usually a fantasy-friendly situation. What did you make of the Jets taking Sadiq?
I don't love this pick. And not just because it's the Jets. The kid's kind of unproven. Yeah, he's a freak athlete. So is Kyle Pitts. And Pitts looked good towards the end of last year, but he's been
the production
a disappointment. The production's not there. It seems like every draft, or at least most drafts, there's always this one tight end that just the hype train starts and just gets rolling because he's faster or he's bigger or something. But you've never really produced at a collegiate level. He's going to a bad situation with the Jets where he's, Geno's not the best. It's not an offensive system. I don't like that pick. I thought the Jets' first pick and the third pick was very good. This one, I don't see it working for the Jets. I don't like it.
Yep. Again, it seemed like a luxury. That was more like a luxury item rather than getting a big-time building block for your program. As they're trying to get some offensive weapons, which they've lacked. He is a freak of nature. I like the highlights. I think he's awesome in the right scenario. But can Geno support him? We'll get to Omar Cooper in a minute. Garrett Wilson.
This could be the Jeremiah Love situation. No, you're playing for next year. You get one of those quarterbacks next year. Now you have 2 receivers, 2 backs, and a tight end. Decent offensive line, and maybe you're in business. So,
as someone who has
this one scares me a little bit.
What's that? Oh, as somebody who has a lot of Garrett Wilson, who loves Garrett Wilson, I was glad to not see Mekhi Levin get drafted there. And I know they got Omar Cooper later, but I still think Garrett Wilson's going to be the man.
Clear number 1. He was having a great year until he got hurt. He was a top 5 fantasy receiver last year until he got hurt. I know.
And I have a lot of them. I traded for 2 more shares of him in the offseason. I'm a huge Garrett Wilson guy. I think he's a top 10 talent at receiver. It's just, again, the situation sucks. And that's why I don't think the situation's amazing for Sadiq. Sadiq goes to Denver. Sadiq goes to, I don't know, a Kansas City where he's after a Rams, or Kansas City where he's coming in for Travis Kelce next year. Or, I don't know, you name a place that I'm a little more excited about it. Not that excited about him being with the Jets. I got to see it with the Jets, man. You can get all these offensive players, but I got to see it to believe it. Oh, Olivia's in the house. Olivia's back.
Oh, there she is.
She's got a doubleheader tomorrow. She's got to get to bed early. She's got 2 games. My little all-star there hit another home run on Tuesday night.
Nice.
She's a beast in softball, man. We found her sport for sure.
That's great.
And soccer, dude. She's really good at soccer. Those are kind of her 2 sports. All right. Then we get a little run. We got an offensive lineman for the Lions. Sure, they need it. We get a defensive lineman for the Vikings for whatever reason. They got a D grade from what I see.
Well, he's coming. Another guy coming off injury. Yeah, but I was reading up on him today. You always wonder. And they said the 24 tape, he would have been a top 10 pick in that draft. So Vikings taking a little risk with a guy coming off an injury. Guy's an absolute monster. 6'6", 327. Absolute monster.
Monster human being. We take a shot. 6'6", 327. Then we get a 6'7" guy, 315. Boy, offensive lineman for the Panthers. Like it. I was happy from a fantasy perspective because I didn't want to see a weapon go to the Panthers because Bryce Young can't support these weapons. So we keep Ted McMillan, Jalen Coker kind of as the pseudo number 2. And they're just trying to help out their run game, trying to help all of that. Can't really say much about an offensive lineman. Then the Eagles make a trade. And it seem, I hate it because I hate the Eagles more than anything. Red Sox and Eagles, I hate more than anything in this world. Okay. But they do a great job in the draft. They really do.
Yeah,
and
they do.
They seem to always be picking in the 20s. And what they do is they go up and they always go up and get the guy that's falling. They get the falling guy every time, or there's a little question about his, off the field stuff or whatever, and they go get the guy. And that's what happened with Mekhi Lemon. They said he was a little bizarre in his interviews and a little bizarre at the combine. I know some very good fantasy analysts that do a lot of draft stuff who said he was the best receiver in the class. So you get arguably another Amon-Ra St. Brown clone. This basically all but assures A.J. Brown is gone. He's history.
Well, it sounds like he's locked for the Patriots.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that, but it sounds like June 1st he is a Patriot.
He's going to be a Patriot. No, almost no question in my mind. The worst kept secret in the world.
Yeah,
we're not going to go there either.
But there's no tampering there, right? No tampering.
No tampering. And so anyhow, they do what they do. They make the move, and now you got Mekhi Lemon and Devontae Smith. I think it's a sneaky, really good landing spot. Let me ask you this, Jay. And I know you haven't played Dynasty yet. I'm going to get you in a league. But we have the rookies come in, right? And you draft the rookies. So everybody is saying that the 101 is basically Jeremiah Love because he's basically a can't-miss prospect. He's a Saquon. He's a Bijan, a Gibbs, blah, blah, blah. If you need a quarterback, most of these dynasty leagues are 2 quarterback leagues. It's Mendoza. The 3 receivers, Tate, Lemon, and Tyson, have all been in a cluster. All this whole from the time the Super Bowl ended to the draft, it's been debated. You ask 10 guys, and 3 guys have it this way, 3 guys have it this way, 4 guys have it this way. How would you rank them if you had to draft a dynasty team? Which, remember, you can keep the players forever.
Right, sure.
How would you rank Tyson, Lemon, Tate based on their landing spots?
Boy, based on landing spots, Lemon's first. The number 20 guy is first. With A.J. Brown out of the way and Devonta Smith.
You would draft Lemon over Tate?
I think the situation's better. I have more confidence in the Eagles' offense. And I know Hurts is not the greatest passer, and he is what he is. I almost feel like sometimes – it is a sidebar. A.J. Brown's one of those distractions. He became a distraction a lot last year. And did that put extra stress on not a great passer? Great player in Jalen Hurts, but not a great passer to force him the ball. Now you have Devonta Smith, who's never says a peep on one side with a rookie on the other. I think they're going to light it up. I think they'll fire the ball all around. I think his landing spot is the best. I would put Tate second just because I think he's the most talented guy in Tennessee. And then I'd put the other one third. Drawing a blank here, but Tyson would go third. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love hearing this from a person who's not in the dynasty leagues. I love hearing it because it's interesting, and most people are going the opposite. Most people are saying Tate, and there's people that they like Tate to begin with. I'm kind of with you. I think this Lemon spot is kind of good. I think the thing about the Eagles really consolidated. I mean, Wandale's going to get targets, and Ridley's still going to be out there on the field. What's left over for Tate?
And you still don't know what you have really in Cam Ward. So
and Chuck.
Right. Hurts. Well, again, he's not Josh Allen, but he's pretty good. And he will fire the ball around. And now without that pressure to force feed AJ Brown so he shuts up, I think his play will elevate. I think people forget when you play a Super Bowl, the Eagles won the Super Bowl the year before. That's a lot of games. They play a very physical style. I think they just were so beat up by the end of last year. That hurt them too. So Eagles will bounce back, have another strong year. And I think the landing spot wins for Lemon for sure. And I'll be right
I couldn't agree more. I was not a Lemon guy. As I said, I was Tyson, Tate, then Lemon. I think after the things, and I think you're 100% right. Addition by subtraction. I think that Hurts, like you said, had the pressure to try to force feed AJ Brown the ball when maybe he wasn't open or maybe it wasn't the right move. There was an easier throw to be made or an easier play to be made. I think he felt that pressure. I got to force it to him. I got to force it to AJ Brown. I got to force it to him, and ended up becoming a nightmare. And I think the Eagles could take off. Now, you want to question this kid's antics off the field? He looks a little bizarre, but listen, a lot of these receivers are
most of them are. Yeah.
They don't need to be rocket scientists to be great football players. I mean, it helps. But I guess of all the positions, that's maybe a position where it's just, hey, you do this, and learning a playbook, which I don't think the Eagles playbook is overly, crazy. It's not your guys' playbook. The Bears. Right. I think it's a very good landing spot. And again, I hate it, but again, I think the Eagles may have struck again. Did you hear that story? And I was a little busy at work, so I didn't get a chance to confirm that it was true, but that the Steelers were on the phone with Lemon or something like that. And then that's when the Eagles made the trade. They because of the 8 minutes, like you said in the very beginning of the show, they have to start preparing that they wanted to take Lemon. And then the Eagles moved up and snagged Lemon. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but it makes a lot of sense because the Steelers could definitely use a wideout.
The story that I heard, again, I can't confirm. If anybody's out there in the chat or whatever can confirm it, but the story that I heard was they were literally on the phone with Lemon, and then the Steelers made the Eagles made the trade, and then the Eagles were calling, and Lemon literally had to click over to the Eagles, and the Eagles said, "We're drafting you." So kind of crazy story. Again, I can't confirm if it's true or not, but yeah, Mekhi Lemon is in a great spot. A great spot. So once again, you heard it right there from Jay Joseph, who's not a dynasty fantasy football player. But if he was starting a team, he just said he would take Lemon, then Tate, then Tyson. He likes the situation. Like it. Double J likes it. Lemon's the guy. We got a special guest that is now in the garage. He's in the fantasy garage watching.
AJ Brown's gone. Lemon's the guy.
There we go.
Lemon is a freak.
You heard it from Richard Tate. He watched Lemon videos all day. He's a Lemon guy now. He's a Lemon. We'll put some lemons in that margarita. Anyhow, we are moving on. We are now at I got to go back here. All right, so then Steelers take the offensive lineman. Fine, good Steelers pick. They need it. Their offensive lineman was terrible. Chargers take an edge guy. Sure, sounds good. They say he's worthy of being a top 10 pick. The Cowboys take a linebacker there at UCF. I didn't know a ton about him. They got a C grade for that. And then we get to a fantasy relevant player. Casey Concepcion goes to the Browns. Did you have something to add about the guy for the Cowboys?
No, they said I was reading something today that said that it was the worst kept secret on the board, that Jerry Jones was in love with him and he was going to grab him no matter what. So he didn't care where he took him. He was taking the kid. I mean, they had him
ranked as the 52nd player.
I was going to say ESPN had him as 54th. So,
but listen, you're not going to get past Jerry Jones. If Jerry Jones says we're drafting this guy, you're going to draft him.
He's going for it.
There he is.
Shuttle run
What do you got there, Cam? Ice cream?
Ice cream.
Oh, he's eating some kind of ice cream. All right, so there you have that. Then we get to another fantasy relevant player as Casey Concepcion goes to the Cleveland Browns. We talked about him a little bit. Here's the problem. They just took Denzel Boston in the second round, 6'4", big guy. So I like the fact that they got the variety. But you still have Jerry Jeudy, you still have Harold Fannin, and who's going to be throwing him the ball? Is it going to be Watson? Is it going to be Shador? Is there enough? There's a lot of mouths to feed. Could be good for real life. Don't know how good it is for fantasy. There's some people that really like Concepcion that had him up there with those other top three guys. I didn't. I think he's okay.
A lot of drops.
Yeah, he wasn't my favorite. Now, the big thing for him, and I know it doesn't matter for us in fantasy, is he's a kick returner. He punt returns, kick returns. So that gets you on the field. That is good for your NFL team. I don't know. What did you make of the Concepcion pick? Do you have any thoughts on now? What do we do with this receiver?
I just have one rule when it comes to fantasy football. I don't draft Cleveland Browns. If you stick to that rule, you usually can be pretty successful. every 15 years or so, you get burnt by like a Braylon Edwards freak year, but stay away from the Browns. I guess if you're in a dynasty, you got to look at them. I don't know enough about the kid. Browns offenses, they're the Browns.
I think that's a pretty safe advice, man. Stay away from Browns receivers.
Stay away from Browns. There's a few teams I always try to avoid like the plague until proven otherwise, and the Browns are usually one of them. So
Browns running back fine. I think if you were a Harold Fannin owner,
I had Harold Fannin last year.
I think he had a good year, but I think if you have him in Dynasty, you got to be going, oh crap! They just brought in a bunch of pass catchers, so that's not great for your Harold Fannin shares if you're banking on him being a top tight end. All right, then we get a run. Your guys we talked about take the safety that everybody loves. Great pick. We get an offensive lineman to the Texans, which they finally addressed their offensive line. Thank the heavenly Lord. My God, their entire draft should be offensive linemen. They should draft however many picks they got. That's how many offensive linemen they should take. You got a defensive back that goes to the Dolphins. Okay, Dolphins, they're going to be bad. It's Dolphins and Jets in a race for – the Jets are going to win just enough to not get Arch Manning. You know that.
They're going to win a game at the end of the year. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, right.
They do that. That's what they've done multiple times.
All the time. All right, and then you go to
Pats with
offensive
the tackle.
lineman again for the Pats. I mean, seems okay. Seemed a little interesting character, but he's highly ranked.
And you got to throw. You need bodies on that offensive line. As the Seahawks exposed them big time when they finally played a real defense. That offensive line looked bad from the Pats.
Mm-hmm. Chiefs take a defensive lineman. Solid pick. They bolster their defense with a guy in the secondary and a defensive lineman. Yeah, safe pick. It got an A+ according to CBS. They like him a lot. He was their 19th ranked prospect, and they get him at number 29. He's their number one defensive lineman, the number one D lineman, according to CBS. Then the Jets trade back in to get Omar Cooper Jr. The comp is Deebo Samuel. I hate these comps. It's kind of what it looks like. He was never the best receiver on his own team. He's kind of a slot guy. I guess he can play on the outside a little. What do you make of this Omar Cooper Jr.? Dustino maybe here we go. That dang fly is back. I might be closing my garage here in a second.
Yeah, gotta love Florida.
What do you make of this Omar Cooper?
Florida Bucks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, now we're talking Jets offense with another pass catcher. I this comp says Rashee Rice, so a little more of a possession guy. Might take a little pressure off of Garrett Wilson. So not a terrible pick. This late in the draft. I mean, he was slotted. He was picked right around where his rank was. We'll see. It's still the Jets.
He looks like a running back.
Receiver.
When he has the ball, he
he's not big.
Back.
Yeah, he's not a big guy, but get a little slot guy, mix it up. We'll see. Yep. It's the Jets. Usually avoid them too.
You can do really good, and even Garrett Wilson, as good as he is, you could probably do well just avoiding these garbage teams, right? Just avoiding these players in garbage teams. And how is Geno going to support him, Garrett Wilson, and now Kenyon Sadiq, and then Breece Hall? And I guess they're getting weapons for the next quarterback in 2027, but I thought they had some other holes to fill. And again, we talked about in the very beginning. What's the difference between Omar Cooper and a Zachariah Branch or a Deion Burks or Skylar Bell from UConn, who's a sleeper that I really like, right? What's the big – I don't think there's a big difference there. So you have more picks. Why not wait? I wasn't a huge Cooper guy. There's some people that really like Omar Cooper. I mean, he's got run after the catch stuff. You can hand him jet sweeps and stuff, but I don't know. There's only one Deebo Samuel, man. I know people like to make these comps. Every year I hear there's the next Tyreek Hill, and nobody's been it yet. There hasn't been one guy. So I'll keep waiting for that next Tyreek Hill. Titans get their edge rusher. They made Salah happy later on in the draft, and then our final pick of the first round, a running back. Jeremiah Love's backup. How weird is that, right? To have two running backs. I think the last time was Arkansas, when they had what was his name? My goodness.
In the first round, Felix Jones
and
Darren McFadden. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Bears did it a few years ago when it was Bijan Robinson goes to the Falcons and they took Roschon Johnson in like the fourth or fifth. I mean, not first round, but fourth or fifth round.
But this kid looks great, and he seems to be. So this is the one major hit for our dynasty leagues. Is that you got a running back, because this class is not the greatest for fantasy football, but you get the running back to the Seahawks, a run-first team, a team with an immediate opening with Kenneth Walker out, gone to the Chiefs, and with Zach Charbonnet coming back from an Achilles or ACL, whatever it was.
Yep.
And this kid's got a chance, and he looks good. He's a return. He can return kicks. He's big. He's fast. Good. He could have gone anywhere. Apparently, he's a very high-character kid. Said, no, I want to come back to Notre Dame and try to win a championship. Obviously, that didn't work out for them, but had a great year running behind Jeremiah Love. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect pick for the Seahawks. They don't need much, absolutely stacked roster. You need a running back. He's the next best available. It makes a ton of sense, and it fills a need, and I think he'll excel there. I mean, for all the reasons you listed above, competition and just that's what they need. They will run the ball, and they will run through him.
Yeah, what's crazy? That's ready for a running back. They have the piece in place. Now you can take that luxury at him.
You know what's crazy? And year to year, fantasy to dynasty, year to year, there's a world where he has a better fantasy season next year than Jeremiah Love, which is crazy if you think about it. But you talk landing spot and situation, would it shock you? In the Seattle offense, especially if Charbonnet comes out slow or misses a few games early, he could easily have better numbers at the end of the year than Jeremiah Love.
And with a good offensive line and a good team in general, great defense, so they're going to be playing from ahead, going to get tons of carries. And here's the funny thing, right? Bijan Robinson gets drafted. Who's there to kind of vulture touchdowns and just be annoying? Tyler Algier. Jeremiah Love gets drafted. Who's there to be annoying? Tyler Algier.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Algier's on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
They paid him good money.
Is Connor gone or is Connor still there?
Connor's they brought back. They did sign him. And
there is a legit world where next year you're looking at this like, wow.
Yeah, long term Jeremiah Love, but you might have to deal with some annoying stuff the first year or two. You might have to deal with him doing everything, and then they get down to the 5-yard line. Algier and Connor come in.
And if you're doing a redraft league,
they got to move somebody.
What would be funny in a redraft league? Love's going to go probably first round in a redraft league, if not very early second. Just like Bijan, just like Genty last year was like a top 6 pick. So, and then Price, you could probably grab Price, consider like 4th round, 5th round. And wind up with a way better fantasy season. So that's something that you fall into where they are drafted and the name, and you almost have to look at it like who's the better value there.
Love is going to be Jeremiah Love will be a bust for redraft leagues based on where he's getting picked. He'll put up numbers, but somebody's going to get fired up just like they did with Genty. And Genty for just redraft was a bust. They're going to take him way too early. Dynasty, great, totally different ballgame, but he's going to get taken, like you said. He'll probably go around the 1-2 turn somewhere in that neighborhood where you can get guys like Barkley And you can get guys like, I don't know, I'd have
one
to
of the
look at
receivers. Yeah, right. I
Yeah,
haven't
great,
really looked yet,
great
but
players. Like I'd have to see a board. I
yeah,
haven't
right.
done any early best ball stuff on Underdog or whatever, but he's gonna go and you're gonna get annoyed. You know, there's gonna be a game where Algier has 5 carries and 2 touchdowns, and you're gonna go, what the fuck is freaking guy? You know, he's obviously gonna be the guy over time, and they're probably gonna move Connor. Maybe Connor goes somewhere where he can be like a Thunder guy for some team that needs him. Might not be a bad fit with the Packers or something like that. Or they're going to move Benson. But the problem is Algier and Connor are too similar. Benson's more of a speedster. So, but listen, they'll do something. One of those guys will not be there. We'll just have to see who it is. And Algier, they just paid pretty good money. Stinks for the guys in Dynasty. I saw a lot of trades go down the last month and a half, 2 months. People going and getting Algier, thinking Algier is going to be the starter in Arizona. No way they're taking a running back at 3. And then boom, nuked. You just get straight up nuked on your Algier shares. So that's how Dynasty works. That's why the draft, you know, I never used to be a big NFL draft guy. I mean, first of all, you know, your hope is that your Giants are not picking. But now the last like 7, 8 years, I've been a big draft guy because I have to watch because we're picking early and hoping to change our franchise around, right? But I haven't been one. Now that you're in Dynasty, it's very big for you because you got guys that can get cooked, right? I have Chris Olave in a bunch of leagues. How much does this Tyson? I don't think this Tyson guy actually hurts him that much.
No, I don't think. I think it actually helps him a little bit.
I think it's going to help him. But there are some people that just get nuked. You know, if Jeremiah Love goes to the Giants, take your scadaboos. Yeah, you know, you're screwed with it. You know, you're if you got Algier, you got cooked. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So you can get absolutely nuked in the draft sometimes. It's happened. Perfect example. I was huge I still am on Michael Mayer. I think Michael Mayer is a top 6 to 8 tight end in the league if he had his own job. He got cooked. They took Bowers. He's cooked. I have Michael Mayer in like almost every league, and I'm just hoping he gets traded or something happens.
In Green Bay, same thing in Green Bay. Musgrave looked pretty good, and then they took Tucker Kraft. You know, same thing. You know, it's just.
So in these dynasty leagues, it's very like the draft. You're always kind of walking on eggshells, like, oh God, I hope my guy doesn't get cooked. And I got lucky. I had some, like I said, Tony Pollard. I have a lot of, for whatever reason, he was dirt cheap. Nobody wants him, so I was able to get a lot of Tony Pollard.
I would have paid you to take Tony Pollard. So
he's been solid.
Yeah, he's
been solid. He hasn't been amazing. He's been very solid, and he's dirt cheap. And he survived the draft. You know, obviously they could still take. Well, they just drafted another guy, and it wasn't a running back, so he's still surviving. So I think he's still going to be the main ball carrier there in Tennessee. So one more year, Tony Pollard for me. I am very happy about that. All right, so there's your first round. Let's go to what's happening tonight. The night starts off with the Niners, and I thought they were going to go receiver. I didn't necessarily have this Deshaun Stribling on my radar. I talked about 20 receivers on last Friday because I went over all the receivers. I ranked my receivers. I ranked the running backs. There weren't many. I ranked the quarterbacks. There weren't many. I ranked the tight end class, which is pretty good. But I never even got to this Deshaun Stribling. He's ranked as the 120th player. He goes at 33 to the Niners. Once again, Shanahan, John Lynch think they're smarter than everybody. He's a physical guy. They take him, saying he's a Jawan Jennings replacement. You got any thoughts on this Stribling pick, first pick of the second round?
I trust Shanahan. If he feels like he can make something of this kid, why not? True. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I know anything about him other than what I saw in the playoffs. I've never saw the kid play.
Shanahan and Lynch usually have a style, and if they're going to draft him this high, he's going to get usage, right? Like they're not going to he's going to have to be atrocious for them to play. The pick got a C+. It's going to be interesting because you got Pearsall, you now have Mike Evans, you have this Stribling guy, 6'2", 207, does a lot of dirty work. He's a good blocker, apparently. I mean, I can't lie. I don't know much about Stribling. I'm almost more interested in him than Omar Cooper, Omar Cooper was unanimously like a top 5 or 6 receiver in this class. But this guy Stribling might come out smelling like a rose, and I may be more interested in him. Situation. They don't have an alpha. I mean, they have Mike Evans, but he gets dinged up. He's 32, 33 years old. What's his name? Pearsall can't stay on the field. I'm going to have to. So this is a perfect example. Tomorrow, Sunday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I got a crazy day. Sunday, Monday, I'm going to be watching some Dejon Stribling film. Who would have thought I'd be watching film on Dejon Stribling?
He could be your next Darnell Mooney.
Right. There we go. Let's not go there. I got to see if I like him first. All right. Cardinals attack the O-line. They get some more guys to block for Jeremiah Love with Chase Besantis from Texas A&M. Pick got an A. We'll take it. I'm not going to tell you much about offensive linemen. They need offensive line. Their offensive line was horrible last year. So why not protect Jeremiah Love and Jacoby Brissett? Buffalo goes with an edge rusher from Clemson. He was ranked the 75th player on the board. They take him at 35. They must really like him. Clemson guy.
ESPN has him at 53. ESPN have him higher than CBS at 53.
Okay.
So a little high, but
hey, can't go wrong with an edge rusher. I'm glad they didn't take another swing on a random receiver, right? Like, they're like notorious for taking these late first, early second receivers and not panning out. Hey, good for my DJ Moore. I've always been a big DJ Moore guy. Those are good for my DJ Moore shares. So it looks like they're going to run it out there with DJ Moore, Keon Coleman, Josh Palmer, the stupid fly, and Elio Shakir.
Looks like. Yep, and some tight ends.
Texans take a D lineman. Your freaking D line is amazing. Texans. Get more offensive linemen.
Yeah, you just keep stocking.
They got an A+ on the pick, so I guess they just need O-line. It's so bad. We talked about the Giants
to your point, we touched on it before. There wasn't an offensive tackle in the top 20, 25, by the experts in this round. So do you stretch for a project guard, a guy that might be a guard? Or do you go get another run stuffer, guy that was supposed to be maybe mid to late first round? I saw at McDonald, I saw a lot to the Bears and a lot of mocks, and they got him 10, 12 picks later. So
32 ranked player, got him at 36. I'm hearing good things about the guy the Giants took. We needed secondary. We got a cornerback. Happy with that pick. Got a B+. Raiders come back and take a cornerback. Boy, do the Raiders need some offensive line. I know they signed Linderbaum, but boy, could they use some offensive line. We got Denzel Boston, who I like, but again, I'm taking Jay's advice. Stay away from Browns receivers.
Stay away from Browns.
So we're staying away from Denzel Boston, even though the pick got an A. And I do like what they did from a real-life football standpoint.
I do too.
Yep. KC takes another edge guy. So KC really attacking their defense. 3 defensive players with their top 3 picks in the draft. They get an edge guy from Oklahoma. Got an A grade. Sounds good to me. The Bengals take an edge guy. Certainly need defense on the Bengals. Their defense has been awful. So they pair him with Dexter Lawrence from the Giants. Again,
and by the way, I don't know if you talked about it last week. The Bengals are the Bengals, man. The 10th pick for Dexter Lawrence. I mean, he's a nice player, but my God, the Bengals are the Bengals. That was unbelievable. I texted you when it happened. I said, "What an unbelievable trade for the Giants."
Yeah, that was great. Absolutely. Guy that was disgruntled, not happy there, is going to want to get paid, and we were able to get out of him and get the 10th pick. Oh,
and you get the 10th pick, right? Like, again, I hate to keep going back to the Bears, but we were talking about the Bears trading 26 for him, and I'm like, man, that seems like kind of a lot. And then you go get the 10 pick. That was great. Great job by Shane there. Great job.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. We've got the Saints go get a defensive lineman. Okay, cool. I'm cool with it. He was ranked 56. They get him at, man, there's a lot of big boys in this draft. 6'4", 321. Defensive line, big run stuffer, they're saying, B+. Okay, Saints need defense. They got offense in their first round when they went with Jordan Tyson. They come back with defense. Dolphins take Jacob Rodriguez, a linebacker.
A lot of good things. I heard a lot of good things of that kid, the linebacker.
Okay. Hey, maybe they got it. Maybe they nailed it.
The next 3. Actually, the next 3 picks I really liked with Rodriguez, on Michigan guy going to the Lions, you got to like that the edge. And then I love Zion Young. Heard a lot about him, like early 20s, to get for the classic Ravens, finding probably a top 20 defensive end at 45. So great job by the Ravens again.
Yep. Lions get edge. They need that help on defense. Buccaneers get a linebacker. Again, they're trying to fix their defense. They're pretty good on the offensive side of the ball. Could use maybe an offensive lineman or so. But again, like we talked about, there haven't been many offensive linemen in the second round, which again, probably one of the main reasons the Giants went O-line. Steelers just picked, and they took Jeremy Bernard. I like this kid. Good player. He's kind of a slot guy. Again, similar to an Omar Cooper, but you're getting him 20 picks later or 17 picks later. This makes me think that the whole Makai Lemon story was true, because this guy is a slot guy, and they got sniped by the Eagles on Lemon. They come back in the second round, take Jeremy Bernard, a nice receiver. Again, what's the long term, though? Like, I think the Steelers is an okay landing spot for a receiver for fantasy football and for dynasty, but who's going to be the quarterback long term? I think Aaron Rodgers is coming back. He must have told him he's going to play one more year, but I don't think it's great for him in the short term. I don't think, you got Pittman, you got DK, and now you got this kid in the slot, more of a speedster type of guy. I think it's a good real life. I don't think it's necessarily great for fantasy. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I think you're right with Rodgers, and then we'll see. The Steelers just need to eventually just bite the bullet, bottom out, and go find that next quarterback.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. So it's like it brings the question, right? Like, would you rather be, and I've thought about this myself, and I don't know if I would, like the Steelers, where they're always like a wild card team, but in your heart of hearts, they're not, for the last 10 years or so.
They're not a threat.
But you know that they're not really a championship contender? Or would you rather like fizzle out and like break it down to the studs and hope like the Giants to bring it all back, or hope like the Patriots to bring it all back?
Yeah, I would gut it. You rip the Band-Aid. I know it's horrible and it's tough for a year, but you do it for a year or two. And the NFL, if you get the coach right and you find a quarterback, everything falls into place. And that the Steelers just get stuck in that middle. The Dolphins were like that forever.
Around quicker. There's no league that you can turn things around quicker than in the NFL.
And the Giants are going to be a perfect example. The Giants are going from last to maybe first this year.
I hope you're right, man. Your lips to God's ears, man. I am fired up.
If their weapons stay healthy, the Giants are going last to first.
I'm interested to see what we do if we can add another receiver somewhere here in round 3. Well, we don't have a round 3. Probably going to be round 4, or maybe we make some kind of move to bring in another receiver. I think we need another guy to help out Neighbors. I don't love going into the season with Neighbors, Slayton, and Mooney. It's like a little underwhelming to me. I'd like to bring in some juice. I do like Likely, who they brought in, and then obviously, again, coach and quarterback. But look what we just saw with the Patriots. Okay, we're not going to go the Vrabel route tonight because that will take us hours probably. But great coach, and they got the quarterback, and boom, they're in the Super Bowl. Like, it can be turned around very, very quickly. Mm-hmm. But I think the Steelers just have so much pride that they just go, they're not willing to go there. Maybe Will Howard, maybe another year sitting behind. I don't know, but that's a 6th-round pick. And they kind of tried with Pickett. They kind of didn't work out. But they're, again, they're picking in the middle of the first. They're not picking in that upper echelon of the first. So, again, we're in the second round, okay? And we are 33 to now 51. So what's that? 19 picks have been made in the second round.
We're up to 50. We're actually up to 53. The Colts just picked.
All right. Yeah, I see the Packers just get. So we're about 20 picks into the second round. Not much left in the second round. There's about 15 picks left. Actually, 11 in the second round.
And
here's what we've got from a fantasy standpoint. So if you watched the show last week, I told you this was ugly for fantasy, for Dynasty, right? Because Dynasty, you're drafting all the new rookies. That's like the big thing. We got Deshaun Stribling, who seems like a blocking receiver, not very highly graded to the Niners. We got Denzel Boston to go to the Browns of all places when they already drafted a receiver ahead of him, Concepcion. And we got Jeremy Bernard, a slot guy, to go be the 3 with DK Metcalf and Pittman to the Steelers. Yuck.
Yeah. It's
yuck
all
for your
defense. This
fantasy.
whole second round is defense. There
It's
has been
not
1,
a
2,
good fantasy football draft.
3.
You're going to see a turn.
There's
'Cause,
only been
yeah,
1, 2.
it's all defense.
Only 3 offensive players picked in the second round so far. In the top 21 picks, only 3 offensive players, and one of them was a guard.
This is brutal. So how many skill guys were taken in the first round? We had Mendoza, Simpson, the 2 backs, and what do we have? 4 receivers? 5 receivers, and the tight end. So we had 4. All right, so we had 2 quarterbacks, and then one of them's not playing for like
10.
2 years.
You have 10, and one of them's a quarterback that's not going to play for at least.
And that
2
was in the
years.
first round.
Oh, we got a tight end drafted by the Eagles, Eli Stowers. Out of
Oh, I love this kid.
There you go.
Gosh,
That's a
darn
good
it.
way.
He goes to
Again,
the
Eagles with another Eagles.
Ah!
Are there teams other Eagles and Ravens draft better than almost every team in the league? It's unbelievable how well they do.
I would have loved Stowers on the Patriots in the next pick. I love this kid. If you haven't watched him, Jay, this kid, I mean, he's not a blocker whatsoever. He's just a receiving tight end. He's awesome. And now I can't take him anywhere because I never take any Eagle.
Because you can't take an Eagle.
God bless it. Oh, my Lord.
The Pats traded the next pick.
Oh, they just traded out?
Well, it says the Chargers on TV.
No, I think the Pats
So
traded
the Chargers
in.
flip it to the Pats. The TV
I
could
think
be a
the
little
Pats
slow.
traded in. I don't know who they came in to get. Wonder who they're coming in to get. Maybe that Jermod McCoy, the kid that was
He's
like
still
the 6th
there.
ranked. He's still there.
He's still there. They have, like you said, ESPN's got him as the 16th best player in the draft, and he's still there.
CBS had him as the 6th.
And then that safety, the safety from Toledo, they had Emmanuel McNeil Warren, 21 overall.
Yeah.
Still there.
Let's see. Yeah, we had CBS had him 22nd. And
Yeah.
Jermod McCoy was their 6th ranked player.
There is a flurry of receivers coming up.
Oh, for sure.
In the
round
next
3.
best available. Yeah.
Yeah, round 3. Antonio Williams, Malachi Fields, Zachariah Branch, Chris Brazel, Elijah Surratt, Chris Bell, Jacoby Lane, Skylar Bell from UConn, Deion Burks, Ted Hurst. There's a bunch, like I said, when I said this on the show, there's a lot of guys that are, you're just hoping for a landing spot. You're hoping for a landing spot. And so far,
Yes.
the landing spots have been awful. Niners was a great landing spot, but they get a kid that's not really I don't think he's a high-end fantasy guy. He's going to get pushed up. People in my dynasty leagues are going to take him in the first round. They're going to take him at the end of the first, and he's going to bust. Yeah, this is a terrible draft for fantasy. So put it this way, Jay, just because you don't have as much of a reference point, that's why I got to get you in one of these leagues. I'm telling you, just for fun, dude. It's a great time. How do I see draft? I want to see my previous draft. Like, you'll be amazed when you see like the talent that went the last couple of years in drafts, like the first rounds.
Oh, yeah.
Like what's going to show up in this draft.
Sure.
All right. So
Yeah,
let me
because
see.
you've had
draft results.
you've had a few major quarterback drafts, some good running back drafts.
So last year, 2025, I just picked one of my random leagues. Wait, why the heck? Oh, here we go. Hang on. Ashton Genty went 101. Tet McMillan, 102. Amarian Hampton. Travis Hunter busted. Cam Ward. Quinshawn Judkins. Travion Henderson. Emeka Ibuka. Colston Loveland.
Yeah, loaded.
A guy took Trey Harris, 110.
I mean, Luther Burton late.
Tyler Warren went 111. Jackson Dart went 112. Caleb Johnson, 201. Matthew Golden, a first-round receiver, 202. Luther Burden, R.J. Harvey, Cam Scadaboo, Tyler Shuck, Shador Sanders. Then it got kind of gross.
Yeah.
But this year, it's going to be gross in the first round.
Yeah, but you're 20 guys in before it gets gross last year.
Yeah, this is gross. We're like 6 guys in, and it gets gross.
Yeah.
7. And that's if you're like willing to take Sadiq. Yikes. You know, you've got the 3 receivers, Tate, Lemon, and Tyson. You've got Love. You got Mendoza. After that, Sadiq.
Roll the dice.
Concepcion, the running back for the Seahawks. I might like him.
I like him. Yeah, I like him. Situation.
Denzel Boston, Omar Cooper. This dude. I mean, if I was an Eagles guy, if I was able to take Eagles, I'd push this Stowers up. Yeah, I'm telling you, this kid's good. I'm telling you, he's good, but I can't take him. He's on the Eagles now. I'm screwed. No, they just drafted Eli Stowers, tight end from Vanderbilt, the Eagles.
Oh, wow.
And I love that kid. Wow. He's like a gazelle, and he catches everything. Huge hands. He's a former quarterback. Because I'm not allowed to watch the draft in here because it's what you call rights.
Well, how much longer you got?
Yeah, we're gonna go a couple more minutes. We got a couple more picks, so we'll get that guy out of here. But that one just came across the board. That was interesting. I got to go back. Where the heck was I? Where are we at on the draft? Oh goodness! Now what did I do?
We're down towards the end. It's all D. It's all D. We passed Zion Young, and then it just turns into more defense until Stowers at 22.
Yeah. Let's see who the Pats.
Yeah,
pick.
Pats are coming up here.
Let's see the Pats, Jags, and your Bears.
Pats, Jags, Bears. We got 2 Bears picks.
Got 2.
Bears have 2 in the next 6 here.
Come on, give me Thibodeau. Give me the 60. I'll give you Thibodeau.
I'll give you 60 for Thibodeau.
That'd be great. Wouldn't it be cool to be a GM for a day?
You got to eat half the salary.
You got to eat half the salary?
You know,
right.
hey,
we'll do it.
While we have time here, so Carson Beck, Garrett Nussmeier, Cole Payton, Drew Aller. It's funny. Drew Aller was last year.
I know.
They were like locked for first round. Garrett Nussmeier locked for first round. Any upside? I've heard a lot of good things about the kid from Payton from North Dakota State.
Yeah, I like Nussmeier of the guys you just gave me.
Yeah, me too.
I want nothing to do with Carson Beck. I think he's a bozo. I think he's terrible.
He's a college quarterback.
Yep. I want nothing to do with him. I think Nussmeier, might be as talented, if not more, than Ty Simpson. He had a bad situation.
Let's take Gabe Jackus, edge from Illinois. Jackus.
Okay, another defensive player.
All right. I want the Bears to get this cornerback. I don't care if he's hurt or not. If he's a top 12 talent.
That's what I'm saying.
You get him at 57. Who cares?
Take the injury discount, man. I thought for sure that's what the Eagles would do. That would have been definitely an Eagles pick. I saw some decent things about that Cole Payton. He's a 4th, 5th round guy that you put on your roster and see if you catch lightning in a bottle. Drew Aller, I think, has a lot of talent. You can get him on the back of your roster and see. Of all those ones left, I do like the Nussmeier kid. I also read something where he had some kind of like hidden injury that they didn't know about. He had something that was like messing him up, and he didn't find out until the combine when they did like a super duper deep medical on him. Like, I think it might have been like a cyst or something that was like pressing against his back, and that's why he was having back problems, and who the flip knows. So something along those lines. So I would take the Nussmeier kid. I don't think he's a bad player. I think he's a good guy to get as a backup and see if you catch lightning in a bottle.
Yeah,
maybe not a bad pick for Arizona. I mean, maybe the Jets, maybe somebody who's got just like Colts, sure. Yeah, somewhere like you've got a quarterback, but you're not like sold. And this goes to a further point, and we've talked about it on some of the other shows as we wait for some of these picks to come in. Who's on the board? Who's on the clock now? You guys?
The Jags. Jags, Bears, 49ers, next 3.
Got it.
Jags pick is in. Let's see who it is. It's slow.
Jags will be very interesting. I could see them taking this McCoy.
Yeah, but I think Travis Hunter's going to wind up being a cornerback there, so they might go a different direction.
Yeah, or the safety. Or I see that.
Yeah, it could be that safety.
Jackus was highly ranked.
11 sacks last year. Jags took a tight end. Nate Borkercher.
What the
Texas.
heck?
His overall rank on ESPN is 159.
What are we doing? I've heard
Jag's
of
gonna
Oscar
jag.
Delp. I've heard of like 2 or 3 other tight ends that I've heard are pretty good. I have not heard of that guy once.
6'5", 245. He was 13th ranked tight end, 159
Sounds like a blocking
overall.
tight end. Probably a blocker because Brenton Strange isn't a huge blocker. Ugh, more garbage.
Yeah, that's
My thing had him. CBS had him at 86.
all right.
They actually had him as the
lot
14th
higher.
tight end. Nate
So way higher than
Borkircher from
ESPN had.
Texas A&M. Bizarre. I don't think that's a fantasy guy. Good
No, I
Lord.
don't think so.
This has been awful for fantasy.
And Strange is a good fantasy tight end or a decent fantasy tight end. So yeah, I would. This is
I've never seen a draft this bad for fantasy.
Let's see what these Bears do. A lot of time. Yeah, let's get this tight. Let's get this corner.
Oh, I'm going back to my point. Backup quarterback is so underrated.
Oh,
Remember
so
we
underrated.
talked about how many times like guys go down and you just know the team is cooked. And I think teams are starting to realize it a little bit. But there's something to be said for getting this Nussmeier.
Yeah,
Colts. Great call on the Colts.
I had heard a lot of things about Tyson Bagent being traded from the Bears for like a second or a third. Arizona. A lot of talk was Arizona was very interested in him for like a third rounder.
Wild. How about Mac Jones, right?
Yeah.
Mac Jones, super important.
Yep.
Giants having Jameis. I mean, that guy came in and he can still play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some of these teams got nothing at backup. So it's an underrated position.
60 guys started a game at quarterback last year, if you can believe that. 60, I heard it today, 60 guys. So
I wouldn't be surprised to see Will Levis go somewhere. You know?
Good. Anthony Richardson.
Yep.
I mean, Trey Lance is still bouncing around.
Yep. Sorry. What are the Packers going to do at backup now? I can see the Packers taking one of these guys.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Bears have to go. Bears have to go defense. It might not be a corner, but Bears have to go defense here.
Yeah, there's so many teams that
there are no edge rushers here, though. That's the problem. All the good edge rushers are gone, and that's really what they need. A couple linebackers in the, Anthony Hill from Texas, Zachariah Branch from Georgia. Those are like the top two. But I feel like you go corner. You can never have enough corners.
Sorry, I'm typing stuff in the guys in my chats and some of my dynasty leagues are just going, God, this is awful. This is bad. All right, let's see this Bears pick, and then we'll get the heck out of here.
Deal.
I'll let you watch the rest. I think we gave a pretty good breakdown of the draft. There'll be some interesting guys because, like I said, you go through these receivers, and there's some guys I like. I like that Stowers kid. I talked a lot about Stowers on my last show. You go to best available wide receiver. These are all guys that I think in the right spot could be something. Antonio Williams, wide receiver from Clemson. Malachi Fields, he's a huge, big-bodied wide receiver from Notre Dame. I'm not the biggest fan, but right spot. Zachariah Branch, 5-star recruit for Georgia. He's Tyreek Hill-ish, he's certainly a slot guy only. Quick guy, very highly rated. Chris Brazzell, again, helmet scouting. People don't love him because he's from Tennessee, but 6'3", can run like the wind. Elijah Surratt. I see a lot of Keenan Allen in Surratt. He was actually the number one receiver at Indiana. Does he link up with the Raiders? That would be an interesting spot. Kevin Coleman from Missouri. Chris Bell. I love the UConn kid, Skylar Bell. So there's about 10 to 12 receivers that I think are talented, not talented enough to go to a garbage team and be great, but if they go to the right spot, right? Like if you get one of these guys in the third round, go to the Raiders. That's a wide open room that you could make a name for yourself. I'm trying to think any other great spots for receivers. I mean, maybe the Bills take a swing. I think if the Giants got a guy round on chance.
Houston wouldn't be terrible.
No,
they're picking two spots.
They did draft those two guys last year, but neither of them really panned out.
No.
They need to keep getting O-line.
Yeah.
Washington is interesting. Hey, here's my other one. Brandon Ayuk is going to be a commander. Brandon Ayuk is going to somehow end up a commander. Whether he's got anything in the tank, I don't know. But he's going to end up on the Commanders. He's best buddies with Jaden Daniels. And, obviously they're letting him go, right? He's not going to be a Niner. So he could end up on the Commanders. If the Commanders take a receiver, that's an intriguing spot. If the Rams take a receiver, right, and heir apparent to Devontae.
Well, the Chargers wouldn't be a bad spot.
No,
really...
I think they're a little crowded in their room, but they could. They could. That would hurt the Trey Harris breakout. I think Trey Harris is going to be pretty good. And they got Ladd and they got QJ. They could take a receiver, but I think they're kind of – I think their room is okay.
Not a need,
No. Let's see about the third round. Cardinals, I don't think are taking any kind of receiver. They could take a third guy to go with Wilson and Marvin Harrison, but they've been going heavy offense. They need to start getting some defense. Buffalo, I guess – the Buffalo has an early third. Could they take a guy? I think the Raiders are live at 67 to take a receiver. They have the third pick of the third round. Like if a Surratt goes there or Skylar Bell goes there.
Bears are going center. Logan Jones from Iowa.
Hey, Iowa center.
They have another pick in three spots.
Can't go wrong with an Iowa center, man. Tyler Linderbaum.
They could use a center. With Dahlman retiring, they got Bradbury, but
Yep. I don't think Eagles, Titans, Browns, I don't see. And the running back class is terrible, man. The running backs are not good.
That's terrible.
Commanders have a pick at 71. They could take a receiver. Dolphins at 75. That's one of those ones. You could have this guy go third round. Like if a Zachariah Branch went third round, 75th pick, or Skylar Bell goes 75th pick to the Dolphins, where it's wide ass open for receivers, I'd pick him probably over Omar Cooper, or for sure over that Stribling and the Jeremy Bernard on the Steelers. I mean, you got a wide open opportunity. Steelers, Cole, I don't see. Man, it's ugly. Falcons need a 2, don't they? What do the Falcons have for a 2 after trading Mooney? Did they do anything in free agency?
I don't remember.
They kind of need a wide receiver.
I'll look.
You know what? Zachariah Branch to the Falcons would be pretty sick. I like Zachariah Branch, if you can't tell. But I think he needs the right landing spot. You got Drake London. You throw this kid in the slot, he could be a monster in the slot. I don't think they did anything in free agency. Did they? I don't think they did.
I'm trying to pull it up.
They brought in Brian Robinson to back up Bijan Robinson. How many people are going to screw that up in their drafts?
Yeah. Right now,
you don't want
London,
Minnesota.
Oh, Drake London, Jahan Dotson, and Olamide Zakai.
Yeah, they need a receiver. They could definitely take a receiver. If the receiver goes there, they got a wide open opportunity. So that's a good spot for Skylar Bell, Ted Hurst, Zachariah Branch, guys I like, but they need the landing spot. Ravens could take one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a great landing spot, though.
No. Yeah.
Jaguars, I don't see it. They got plenty of guys. Minnesota, they could, but he's not going to be fantasy relevant. He's going to be a third.
Browns took that safety from Toledo who was pretty high.
Yeah, Browns are having an okay draft.
Browns have had a great draft.
Yeah.
Now it's Texans and then Bears one more time.
Dolphins have a couple of picks. You guys got a lot of picks in this draft.
Yeah, they wound up with a lot. This is the Bill. This one is the next one's the Bills pick for DJ Moore.
Yeah. And notice the Patriots aren't taking any receivers, really, right?
No, they don't.
AJ Brown's a lock, dude.
Diana Rossini told me that.
Nah.
She had the inside scoop.
4. Giants pick 5th in the 4th round, 105th pick. Maybe we get a receiver there. I mean, a receiver to the Giants wouldn't be bad. Would have opportunity.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Slayton and Mooney are just guys. They're Jags.
Yeah.
So they'd have opportunity.
Hey, did it bother you that Neighbors came out and kind of questioned picking Reese?
I don't mind it. Nah, he's just having fun. He wasn't really dogging it. I don't mind him having an opinion. I really don't. he knew that Caleb Downs guy. He's friends with him. He wanted to take Caleb Downs. But I don't mind it. He's having fun. I didn't think he was that critical. I don't think when I saw the headlines, I thought it was like, oh, he was I didn't think it was bad whatsoever. He's just talking ball.
Oh, the Bears traded out of the 60th pick.
Did they?
They traded the Tennessee.
To the Giants, and they gave up Thibodeau. Did our trade?
No, they went to freaking Tennessee. Otherwise, we would have been spot on. I don't know what they did, but they traded it to Tennessee.
So they traded to Tennessee.
Yeah.
The 60th pick.
Yep. I wanted that quarterback. Yeah, we're still at Houston.
God, what a disgusting draft for fantasy football. Hey, for what it's worth, CBS gave Logan Jones, your center, a D+. Yeah, they said they had 3 centers on his board higher.
Yeah, that's great. But again,
a tight end, another one I never heard of. Oh my Lord. Another blocking tight end.
The Bears went to 69 and 144 here. That center, though, was the center of the year last year. He won the center of the year award. Oh, what's that worth? Michigan tight ends.
Why the Raiders took this safety and then these other safeties are dropping all the way down?
No, I know. I can't tell you. No. They took the Raiders.
And then these
took
the top safeties are dropping, but one of them the top one didn't even go.
One guy had an injury thing. They got an A for this pick, Traydon Stukes. He was the top college slot corner. He was the top slot. He was the top slot corner in the country.
Oh, so
they gave it an A+ pick.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they like him.
These other guys aren't going.
This Jermod McCoy had a torn ACL.
This guy that Houston just picked was ranked 170. He was ranked 176.
Worst dynasty rookie draft thing I've ever seen. We had 10 guys get picked in the first round offensive, and one guy is not playing for 2 years, Ty Simpson. So really 9 guys.
So
the second round
after 6 picks, it's done.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Concepcion at 8, right? Or is that where he is? I mean, and we
don't
know what
6, 7, or 8. Sadiq with the Jets.
What the hell is he gonna do with the Jets?
Look at the second round. You have a blocking receiver that I never even heard of the Niners take. Yeah, Dejon Stribling went to the Niners. He was like the 23rd ranked receiver. I don't know what they're doing. Then you have nothing. Then you have Denzel Boston goes to Cleveland. Ugh. Oh my God. When they already took Concepcion.
So after 6 picks,
it's cooked. It's awful. Then look, I'm still going. Then you have Jeremy Bernard, a decent receiver.
Anyone could just trade their picks after.
Problem is everybody knows it.
I know.
You got to pray somebody gets horny for one of your
someone like
picks.
Concepcion.
Maybe.
Someone people like.
Jeremy Bernard, decent receiver from Bama, goes to the Steelers.
Someone might like Omar. When is he going?
Cooper.
I don't like him.
Oh, he's on the Jets. That's gross.
I don't like him.
I just was talking to Jay. If the Raiders take like Elijah Surratt in the 3rd round, I'll take him over Cooper.
Yeah.
He's got a wide open opportunity.
Yeah.
Nobody to.
I don't like. I didn't like.
Cooper's got to go against Garrett Wilson, and he's got Geno Smith throwing to him.
I mean, Lemon's the guy, dude. Lemon is
this guy. That's who Jay likes. Jay said he likes Lemon.
I mean, I watched a little of.
We got Richie Yamaguchi in the house, by the way.
I watched Tate, and I love his hands. I think he's the safest guy. I mean, like safe, low, not a high ceiling at all.
Yeah, like a T. Higgins.
At all. Like no. He's like 1,000 yards probably. He'll get you 6 TDs, 7. I think he's gonna do that. Like McLaurin, he'll be like kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like and that'll be fine. That's fine. But I think Lemon, you got something like.
Lemon could be a superstar.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's winning jump ball. He's like 5'10 and a half. He's winning jump balls.
All right.
He's doing it all, man.
We got to break down a trade that I just had come in. So I need Jay. I need Richie here. And actually, Richie, you're in this league. So I don't know if I need you, but. All right. I got a pretty good team. My depth is in. It's, I got okay depth. Tony Pollard, as you know. But it's a good team. I just won the league. I got offered Bucky Irving and Parker Washington, and I give up Olave. What do you guys mean? I'm like, for some reason, I'm infatuated with Parker Washington. The guy was awesome down the stretch.
He was good down the stretch.
Jags, that Hunter's going to be more of a DB, and
yeah, I think he's going to be more of a DB.
He's going to be more of a DB, but is Brian Thomas emerge again?
I don't know.
I
thought Brian Thomas.
I thought for sure he was out. Yeah, I thought for sure he was.
So that's why I really liked it. And what do we think of Bucky? He was banged up last year. The guy's awesome.
He has a great rookie year.
But they did bring in Gainwell.
I mean, but Gainwell is like Rashad White.
How much does this Tyson hurt Olave? And was this season by Olave because he was the only guy to throw to?
I don't think he hurts. I don't think he hurts Olave at all.
No.
Like we said before, I think he helps Olave because he takes some attention to the other side of the field.
Staying on the field.
Yes.
I'm torn on it.
I mean, I like Tyson's film too, but then I Lemon right after. I was like, my God.
My thought process is I could see a world where Parker Washington isn't far off from Olave. And so then I'm just getting a big-time Bucky. I mean, Olave is much better. Well, okay, so here, listen to this, right?
I know, but this is just down the stretch. But
hold on, receiver scoring was way down last year.
How many
way down.
Was way down.
Do that, and then,
correct,
and then do nothing the next season.
But hold on, hear me out. Let me speak here.
I'm just telling
So Olave was the sixth receiver in PPR. He scored 269 fantasy points. Okay, Parker Washington, who didn't really start coming on until
week
after
9?
their bye. So week 9. About week 9 is when he had a breakout game against the Raiders, 8 for 90 and a touch. Okay, he finished with 184 points. So not that far off. I mean, it's far off. Don't get me wrong.
It's not that far off.
It's really not.
This is the weird stuff that happens, though. You get these guys that come out of nowhere. They have a ridiculous. They go on a heater for like half a season or
I just don't know
8
if
weeks,
it's real or not.
And then Darius Slayton. Look at your boy Darius Slayton. He had that monster year. You're like, this guy's the next guy. And then what happened? Nothing. The guy's like,
I guess I gotta watch the rest of the draft. I don't think the Jags are bringing anybody in. They're not bringing in another receiver. I mean, I think it's going to be Myers. It's going to be – and Myers is getting old.
No, but he's
BTJ and Washington.
He's reliable.
And I watched – I don't know. I'm selling myself on my own trade. I saw a thing with Trevor Lawrence at the – I don't know where it was. At the Super Bowl where he just like – it was like he was talking about being in love with Parker Washington. He does whatever you need. He's always there when you want.
Another tight end. Rams took a tight end.
The spot guy. No, but they asked him about all 3 of his receivers. And he was like, blah, blah. And then when it got to Parker Washington, he looked like a teenager that fell in love for the first time.
Oh, God.
I'm just telling you, that's what I had. You can watch the video. You can watch the video. It was interesting.
Rams just took a tight end here, buddy.
Oh!
Max Clare from Ohio State.
Max Clare, I've heard of. He's got some fantasy relevance.
Especially going to the Rams.
They just drafted Terrence Ferguson. And tight ends getting muddy too, right? How many of these teams are going with 2-3 tight ends now?
Yeah.
All right. Jury's out on my trade. Let's say
Bucky's the key. The fact that he's showing you Bucky is interesting.
Let's say Tyson eats in 10% of Olave. He's got to eat a little bit of it. I don't think Olave's going to have a better season. Do you? You think he's going to be better than the best season of his life where he was the only guy to throw to?
Bills just traded up. Ooh. Bills could go wide receiver here.
But who? Because like I said, all these guys are in a freaking – you could throw all these dudes in a blender, in my opinion. Oh, so you guys traded out? What'd you get to trade out? Did you ever say what you got
Yeah,
to trade out?
they got a couple. They got an extra third rounder and like a 3 and a 4, I think it was.
No brainer.
Yeah, unless you were like
Sala must have loved this Hill kid. Sala must have loved him. I just think I got an outside shot that I'm getting sort of almost like a free Bucky. And the thing is, my depth is pretty even. So, like, let's just say it was Bucky for Olave. Bucky scored. Now, you can't go by last year. He missed a lot of games.
The year before, he was unbelievable.
Yeah, he scored 244 points.
Yeah, he was.
He scored the basically the
he almost. Yeah. If
so
you think he
the
bounces
same
back,
as Olave, and come on, what's Gainwell taking? Gainwell's going to be the Rashad White role. The big thing will be, does Sean Tucker keep taking these goal line carries? But
and is Bucky healthy?
But if you're the what was I going to say? If you're the Bucks, aren't you going, hey, us taking Bucky out all the time at the goal line didn't really work that great. We didn't have a great season. I might do the trade.
It's not a terrible offer.
And if we're ranking it, there's probably, first of all, I think there's a chance that Olave loses 5 to 10%. He's got to. Just having another competent guy there. And a little bit. Unless you think that the Saints are all of a sudden going to be a team that scores 30 points.
Does Shuck get better?
Correct. That's the other question.
Improves.
Does Shuck get better?
At worst, he's flat. At best, he goes up a little bit.
True. It's interesting.
Hard to say.
And there's a world, it's a small world. There's a world where Shuck starts locking in on Tyson. There's a world Tyson's better than Olave talent-wise.
Yeah.
It's small. I can't put a number on it. It's possible. He could get unseated. It's possible.
Could.
Whereas Bucky's definitely the best running back on the Bucs.
Mm-hmm. True.
All right. I got to think it over. I'm going to tell the guy I got a mullet. All right. Listen, Jay, this has been great. We pretty much made it through the second round. We hope we gave you some interesting thoughts and takes on this draft. Holy mackerel, it's been really bad. Let's see who the Bills pick, and then we'll get the heck out of here.
Deal.
Because it's interesting they picked up, so they had their eye on somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they're coming – I bet I could see them taking this McCoy, coming up and saying, hey, you know what? The slide is over. This guy is way too talented. Way too talented. I'm just not sure what receiver they like because, again, these guys are all in the same boat. There's like 10 receivers that I still like. Hopefully the third round is going to be more fantasy friendly. That's the hope. Bills make the pick yet?
Not yet.
Come on, Buffalo. Get it in.
Get a receiver.
Goodell milks this thing. How many minutes? I have not watched it. How many minutes do they give him in this round? 5?
6. 5,
okay.
6.
I wonder what they go down to in the third.
I think it's like 3.
Oh, really? That's good.
Or 4. Or it drops big time after. Maybe it's after the 4th. We're a commercial, so they're taking forever.
Yeah. Hey, listen, we'll talk about it another time. We got to get Drizzy Drin out of here. Young guy, he's got to go out and enjoy Friday night downtown Orlando. I got to get to bed. I got to get to bed. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be this second round's been a nightmare.
Oh, here we go. Hold on. He's coming out. These Bills are coming out here.
All right.
Bills took Davison Igbenonson, a cornerback from Ohio State.
There you go.
So
it has not been a fantasy draft, man.
91st overall at 62. So there you go.
There you go. They like them.
They like
All
them.
right. That does it, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Jay, thank you so much for coming on, man. I'll let you he's watching the playoff. No downtime tonight.
He's got that puppy to take care of now. Drin's busy. He's a family man.
All right. We're out of here, folks. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th round bring us a little more fantasy relevance and some good landing spots because round 2 was a dud. Go Giants. Go Bears. We'll see you next Friday.